Hello everyone and welcome to this particular session of CSS. My name is Shahid Ismail, and in this session we look at how to make our web pages more attractive and visually appealing using CSS visual rules. In our previous videos, we understood that CSS allows you to create rules that specify how the content of your element should appear on the web page. We look at things such as background color and background image and how to add text color and font sizes to your element in the web page. Additionally, we also understood that CSS rule consists of a selector and declaration. The declaration in itself consists of a property and a value. And the property and the value are separated by a colon, and they are ended by a semicolon. So, in this lesson, we're going to focus more on the CSS rules that affect the visual display of our web pages. We'll look at things such as the font size, font family, and font weight. We'll also look at text alignment. We'll go ahead to look at the text color and the background color of our element. We'll finalize this by looking at the background image and how to add opacity to our background images. So, without much further ado, let's zoom into our lesson.
So the first visual rule we're going to look at is the font family. Now for the font family, alright, before even I look at the font family, let me describe what I have on my web page. On my web page, I have a header. The header consists of H1, and the H1 is made up of a span, right, where you have my book website. So this is what you see there. That is in the H1 of the header. And then in the header also, we have a paragraph, which is here. So that is a paragraph, summaries of Shakespeare's play. Then after that, I have an HR, and I have a form here, right? That is what is giving me this area. Then I have my table of content, which is here. So that is what I have here, Julius Caesar, and much ado about nothing. So that is where I have the details, the summary, and then the OL, and then the LI. After that, I have my section. In my section, I have the H2. In my section, I have the H2, all right, holding the heading, and then the paragraph, all right. And then after that particular section, there's also another section with H2 and a paragraph. And then that is all that I have in my HTML file. So back to my CSS. What I said we're going to look at, the first visual rule, we're going to look at the font family. Now the font family is a property that is used to specify the typeface in a rule set. So the fonts that we're going to use here, usually they are fonts that should be available for the browser to display them correctly. All right. If they are not available, then you have to use a link. That's I want to hold the body, all right. So that is a type selector, body, and in the body I want to give it a font family of Georgia, all right. So just when I save, my font family here changes to the font type of Georgia, all right. Now I can put in more of the font families. I can put a lot of the font families that will serve as the fallback font family, in the sense that when the browser cannot locate this particular font, all right, then the next one is going to be taken care, is going to be displayed in. So I can add another one as Arial, search, and then add Helvetica, all right. So this will mean that if the browser is loaded and then the browser cannot locate or cannot load for whatever reason, it cannot load this particular font family, that's Georgia, then it will fall onto Arial. If it cannot get Arial, then it's going to get Helvetica. All right. Now, if it cannot get any of this, the default that is going to fall into is the Times New Roman. That is the default font family. So if we decide to delete this without any font family set, this is already displayed in Times New Roman. That's the default display or the font family that is selected for our web page. I can go down and then set section, hold my section, and give it a font family of I think I can give this Times New Roman, all right, such that all the sections will be in Times New Roman. This is how we change the look of our font, of our text, the font type or font typeface of our text in our web pages. So the next visual we're going to look at is the font size. Now the font size is actually used to set the text size. So we're going to use this, or we use this when we want to change the size of our characters. So to do that, let's take for example section. All right, and give this section, so everything in the section is going to be increased. So font size of 16 pixels, and this doesn't do anything. Even though we set a font size of 16 pixels, it doesn't do anything. Now the reason why there's no change is that the default font size of all the items on the page is 16 pixels. That is the default font size. So when we do this 32, then it increases. All right, that is everything in the section increases by 32. All right, so the default font size for our web pages is 16 pixels. So when we want to change it or we want to increase it, then we have to take it above 16 pixels. That is 20. Yes, this is normal. All right, so we can do this. Now the next thing we're going to look at is the font weight. For the font weight, this is the property that we use to set the weight or the boldness or the thinness of text. So we have, let's take for example the section and then targets the child element of P. So in the section we have the paragraph. So we are targeting only these items here, paragraph. So what I'm going to do is holding getting my P. I'm going to send this font weight to be 800. And it becomes much bolder. All right, now we can decide to use the word bold and the same thing, or bolder, and we have the same thing. All right, so we can use the word bold, bolder, or we can use values such as 200, and that will be lighter, so 500 or 500, and that will call it grow a bit bolder. So that is about the font weight. We use that to make our text bolder or lighter. The next thing we're going to look at is the text align. So how we can align our text. So text align, how we can align our text in our page, web page. So to align our text, let me still go with my section H2. So what I'm targeting now is this particular area H2. All right. So in my section, I have the H2. I want this H2 to be aligned to the center. And that is what happens here. So this is to the center. If we change this to align to right, then they move to the right of the page. So that is the text align. So that is how we use those ones. So I think the values you have are left and center and then right. All right, so the default value usually is the left align. So that is what we have there. The next visual rule we're going to look at is the color. So with the color, we set colors by holding our values. So this time I'm holding the paragraph, and I want all these paragraphs, all right, all these paragraphs to have a specific color. All right, so paragraph and the color is let me set this as cadet blue, and all the paragraphs will change color to this. We can also set this, the color, the value can actually also be a hexadecimal 20E01. These are known as the hexadecimal values, and then they change as well. So we can equally use even the names of the colors. If we set this as blue, this changes to blue. All right, so these are the various ways we can set the color of the page. If you are going to work with the background color, then that should be background dash color. All right, then you set the color here. So we can have this here, and that is for the background color. So the text color actually is just color. That is the property, just color. And then the background, you need to append it with the word background dash color. That is what will give you the background color. So this is about the color. So we can go ahead to hold any of the items. If we want the header, the paragraphs in the header, can give it a background color of cadet blue. That's, and this will change here. All right, so this is how we can use the color, background color, and then the text color. The next visual rule we're going to look at is the opacity. So how to add opacity to our background color. So we just look at opacity. We just looked at the background color, how to add background color. So here, let me have my section paragraph, and I'm going to give the background color to, I'm going to set the background color as EEF2E01, and this will be a bit of orange color. Now I want this background color to be lighter. All right, so I'm going to add a property known as opacity. Now for the opacity, the value is usually from 0 to 1. All right, so when I have 0, that means it's going to be 0. Nothing will be there. It will be transparent. You can't even see any content. All right. If it is set as 1, that is opaque. All right, to be visible, opaque. So if we set it to 0.5, to be a bit lighter, visibility of the particular paragraph is being reduced. So we can make it 0.9 or 0.8. So the value ranges from 0 to 1. So 0.1 will be 0.1 will be something like this. All right, so this is how we use the opacity in our CSS. Now the next thing we're going to look at is how to add a background image to our page using the CSS. Now to add a background image, the property we use, so first of all, let me get my body. I'm adding the background image to the body. So let me get my body, and here in there I'm going to use the property known as background image. And in the background image, first of all, you need to use a value. The value normally consists of a URL. The URL is making reference to where the file is located on our computer. So URL, in the bracket we have our path. So mine is located in images. So images slash, I have a logo here, a Malitech logo here. So when I save this, what happens is that the whole page is flooded with this particular image. So I have a Malitech image that I just put as a background image. As I said, this is the path. All right. So if I show you my folder, all right, in my folder, what I have is here. So this is my index.html style, and then images. In the images, this is the path that I'm using. So I'm referring to this. So take notice of where you are putting your file. If this file is located in another folder, all right, outside this, then I have to use a dot to show that I should go out of this particular folder and then go to a different folder and locate my file. So that is how the image is used. So this is what I have. Now I only want one image in my background. So I'm going to set another property known as background repeat. All right. And that is going to be no repeat. All right. So when I set no repeat, you see that the image appears only once, meaning the image should not be repeated. So by default, when you put a background image in your CSS or on your web page, what happens is that it's going to be repeated severally until it covers the whole page. So for you to remove that repeat, you have to set another property known as background repeat and then set it as no repeat. That is how we use the background image. Alright, this is all that I have for you in this particular video. I think we've been able to look at font family, font size, font weight, text align, and then we also look at the color, how to add opacity, and then how to add background image. These are visual rules that we can use to emphasize on most of the areas. So this is all that I have for you in this particular video. Thank you for staying with me till the end of the video. Thank you, and see you in my next video.